Good morning. Welcome to Investigator News. And I'm Ellie. I was looking at some charts this morning, earthquakes and our weather reports. And I forgot to pull it down, but it's all right. You guys wanted to look at it. So, how's everyone this morning? Hopefully, bright eyed and bushy tailed and ready for donuts, coffee, and a little bit of a morning weather show. And I'm so glad you're here. So, uh, I'm going to get on with the weather. I have a really big um, report from Dutch Sense, and I tried to scribble and copy down as much as I could. So I'm going to get on with the weather. I had it up. Here we go, and I think it's our our beautiful weather lady, Miss
Here's
Davis.
a look at your national forecast. We've almost made it through the week. For your Thursday, the Northeast, you are looking picture perfect. Take a look at these temperatures, 70s and 60s in the forecast. Now to the Midwest, Northern Plains. This is where that heat is starting to make a comeback. So lots of 80s showing up here. And notice right along that front, that's where you'll see some thunderstorms today. Down to the south, temperatures also starting to warm back up, but it is dry, except Florida and eastern Texas, you're going to see the rain. And out to the west, well, you're getting some cooler air, but also interior parts of the west, you are seeing plenty of rain in your forecast, and that is going to continue into your Friday as well. So temperatures stay cool, but we'll still see rain. Salt Lake City on Friday, 76 degrees for your high with thunderstorms in the forecast. Down to the south, well, the temperatures stay in the upper 80s, and that rain stays for eastern Texas and Florida. Up to the north, that's where temperatures will still be sitting in the 80s. So they continue to climb up as we go into the week. It gets just a little bit hotter, but still picture perfect on Friday for the Northeast.
Good morning, Susan. Yes, we have a prayer request from Susan for her brother. He's in the hospital. Good morning to Linda. Boy, I want to, I got to move my stuff around here.
Tropical storm. Tropical storm.
Boy, I'm just all out of whack today. And I thought I had it all together. It must be the dog. The dog is the dog. That's all I have to do is say the dog and laugh because she's something. Uh, she was up bright eyed and bushy tailed at 4 this morning with me. And I had a leftover, have you got a Quizno sandwich? So I had Quiznos for breakfast. At least it's not donuts. I ate half of it last night, and then I got hungry this morning. First thing, looking at Dutch Sense and his what he was saying, because boy, I didn't realize he put in a good forecast, and so hopefully USGS don't come get me like they do him. But I'm going to give you guys a pretty good update. Um, so with that, I want to get on to the hurricane update. Look at
Fiona
this
is in the
hurricane.
Atlantic right now with winds of 50 miles per hour sitting just east of the Leeward Islands. There it is with a westward movement at 13 miles per hour. Now, this is fighting wind shear and dry air. So, as it continues to move to the west, it will likely not strengthen. There's a look at the projected path. Now, it will interact with the Leeward Islands Friday into Saturday and then move closer to Puerto Rico and Hispaniola by this weekend. So you can see the winds will come up this weekend, and the impacts that will be felt is heavy rain and the possibility of landslides. Now, it's still too early to tell if Fiona will impact the U.S., but certainly that is what we're going to be watching throughout the weekend. There's a look at the rainfall that is expected.
Okay, boy. Um, Susan, my grandson's in the hospital for the same thing, and boy, I tell you, it's been something. It's been a roller coaster ride. He wants to come home, and unfortunately, can't. So, and that's all I can say because I don't want to really give out a lot of my personal information on that. But if someone's in the chat, they probably know what I'm talking about. So, if you're in the chat room, you have to come in and look, or you have to watch what's going on in chat. So, and it's hard going through stuff like that. So, all right, we're going to get to the earthquakes now. Um, Now we have it, it looks pretty calm today. There's only 24, it says, for earlier. Let's see. Oh boy, I really went way off. And pretty much what I'm going to give you a Dutch sense, um, what I found from him. And it's basically for the United States. And he basically said we're all aware of the 7.0s it's been hitting. One in the West Pacific on top of the previous 7.6, which struck several thousands of miles over in West Papua New Guinea. And then a day and a half ago, a new seven struck. And so the West Pacific, this big deal is the second seven to strike within 2 days of the region in the West Pacific. And spacing this, what he said was, if you look at Papua New Guinea to the other ones, they're all equally spaced, 2,000 miles apart. One is 1,500, but for the basically, they're 2,000 miles apart of the plate boundary. And he says the plate boundary broke apart in the past day or so with the 7.0 range. Um, and what's really going on, he said here, is starting this past week, we had a 6.6, a 7.0 that struck in China, causing devastated damage. And then an earthquake that struck, um, it says here, 6.5 out of the ocean that we didn't even hear about. And I'm thinking that's up around the northern coast of California. Now, those two earthquakes, one in Indonesia and the one that you could see uh, that we seen with Papua New Guinea, those struck within hours of each other on the same day, and that's very unusual. And then China, then with the 7.6, and of course Papua New Guinea, and then Indonesia. It's almost like a backwards game of leapfrog. They're not going in the rotating motion. Um, let's see if I let me move this over a little bit. Well, well, I don't think I can get to it. Usually it goes from where we see Papua New Guinea, it goes up towards Japan, it goes over towards Alaska, and then it goes down if it's clockwise. This went counterclockwise with huge earthquakes. So this is something he was very concerned about. And so he said the New Caledonia all broke apart in the past week again due to China, Indonesia, Papua New Guinea, and then the New Caledonia. And he says in equal spaced. And he says these are extremely large earthquakes that struck over the past week. And we just can't ignore the conjunction with the deep earthquakes that are taking place below the Pacific, and we have a deep earthquake activity coming up, down below the West Pacific, spreading out away from the deep earthquakes are taking a place. So what he's talking about is um, we're seeing um, a ration of sixes that are very, very deep. And that's his concern is how deep these are and how many that are, 7.6, a 7.0, then a 6.5, a 6.6. And normally it doesn't act like this. And then he said, looking at the fracture line, he believes that the one in between um, Papua New Guinea and going into Indonesia, like he said, he feels that it broke the fault line. And so another seven rare one that struck right off the mid Atlantic ridge just east. That was the one I was telling you about. I was really surprised about. So then we had one on the other side of the planet. And he said that when that happens, the whole planet will start to show a lot of serious activity, which that's what we seen yesterday with the globe I showed you when it wowed me. And he said so the whole planet is going to start coming alive. and he says the planet basically a 7.0 wouldn't be unusual right now, and anything over six. Um, let's see. Now, what he is worried about now, or he says the next ones, he's not so worried about Indonesia and Japan, or even Alaska. What he's worried about is all the arrows come over towards South America. I say some of the arrows went towards Mexico. Now, his biggest fear is those that came up, and there was a space in between, uh, just into Canada a little bit, all the way down into Northern California. Now, his prediction was Shasta. I'm saying Shasta to Mount St. Helens, because there is a yellow arrow that he had pointed over. And he said, because of the way that the earthquakes have been doing, it would move west. And if it moves west, then you go by the arrows. And with the activity and the spacing, equally spacing that it's doing, we're looking at, like I said, I'm going to say, uh, real close to Eureka, where I used to live. Remember that I've been saying it's pretty active right there, all the way up to Mount Shasta, or Mount Shasta, Eureka, up to Mount St. Helens. The next area he is saying is in, I believe he was talking Peru. Now, the other place he was talking, if you want to go on to the other side of the world, was Italy, and then over, I believe he said Holland. So those are the areas he's looking for a bigger earthquakes. Anything he's talking over six. It could be in between 6 to 7. It could even climb up to 8. Um, so anyway, um, oh, so Linda says she's been watching Dutch since. So you know that, you know how he explains everything so well. And if you're new and you don't know about Dutch Sense, we're big Dutch Sense fans here at Investigator News. And so watch it. He's got a new one out. Now I did post one over in Facebook for everybody that's on Facebook. So I'm with him. I'm kind of worried with Shasta and around Eureka. And then the other one would be South America. Now, he didn't say anything about Alaska. So, does a time frame as when this could take place? That's a really good question right there. Usually he says 7 days. And he basically, to me, it sounded like any time. So I was kind of concerned about that, and I went ahead and listened through. I listened to him like 3, 4 times, and then I scribble as fast as I could scribble to get what he says, and on the most important points. And let's see, what's this one? This one just hit. Um, this is Attic, Alaska 5.1 that just hit. There was one that just hit in Pinnacles, California. Um, that's close to the Bay Area. You know what I thought was weird was we had that one that hit San Jose, and it was a good size one. It was almost a 5.0. My sister's real close to there. I called her up, and I talked to her the night of, and she didn't say anything. So I went and I called her last night, and I said, "Hey, did you feel the earthquake?" And she said, "What earthquake?" And I said, "The one that hit last night." She said she didn't know. Where was it? And I told her, and she said maybe it was a little far, but they felt it as far as Sacramento, which is way past where she's at. And I thought it was odd that the where they felt it, it was like San Jose, and it kind of went northwest with the who felt it. So the Bay Area didn't feel it, which is odd because they've had a lot of them in the Bay Area. So I'm kind of waiting to see. So I think that's where, and she said she wasn't on the fault line where San Jose was, and she was right. And so I'm thinking that these big, strong earthquakes, if you're in California, are following the San Andreas Fault, which, like Dutchens would say, is going to go no. Well, it's coming around, so it should be coming south. So I'm going to keep an eye on what's going on in Alaska today. And like, we just had one, a 5.1, and then they had one in Pinnacles. So in between those two would be pretty much the tip of where Canada is. There was another one. I just can't see where it's at. Um, oops, and it didn't show me anything. Huh. Oh, nope. Anyway, so it should be in between Canada and this last one, which would put it real close to Washington State. So he's right. We're watching. So, and he will come on live if there's a big one. Normally, if you don't know how Dutch Sense does his shows, he usually comes on within the hour after a good sized one. And if not, if he's not on YouTube, folks, then he'll be on Twitch. So, all right, I want to get on with the all the good fun stuff. Um, and let's see, stuff that scares our pets. Um, and dogs like mine, earthquakes, and dogs will act up with earthquake. Uh, they say 50 to 75 miles away, or it could be hundreds of miles away. That at least a 3.0. Now a 4.0 would be felt from hundreds of miles away. And your dog will whine, he will pace, they pant, they drink a lot of water, they lick their paws. Um, I believe that's pretty much. I'll make sure I didn't miss anything. Um, yeah, that's about it on that for earthquakes. The other one is changing routines or rearranging your house is the other one. So you change your routine, like if someone gets a job, and then, of course, I mean, even the cat gets upset over that. And or rearranging your house. And I didn't know if you rearranged your house that it would cause fret in your dogs and your cat. They say noisy appliances. My dog gets all excited about the vacuum, so I don't know. I think every dog, well, my little Scotty dogs were scared of the vacuum, but every other dog I've had, boy, they wanted to wrestle with the vacuum cleaner. I had a little dog that used to, he would grab the front of the vacuum. Even when it wasn't on, he would go by and he'd look at it and he'd growl and he'd grab it and he'd drag it all over the place. Um, so noisy appliances, uh, insects, fleas or ticks or anything on them that's creepy crawly, loud voices, they say, and unfamiliar objects. Like if you put a cucumber out of the blue in front of your dog, it's going to act weird, or a pumpkin, or they say cats have the strangest reactions to cucumbers. So I know everybody's going to run and get a cucumber today and scare their cat. I would. I mean, I get a big kick out of it. Children, if your dog isn't around children all the time, they get anxiety, they say. Um, and so they say, always teach your kids, never pull on their ears, their tail, don't get in their face, don't grab their heads, and do not get in their food. Grab their feet. I guess grab any body parts, but mainly around the face and not to get too close to the face. So, and they said even a calm dog might snip at a child for that. Uh, so, oh boy, I think they don't have video. Well, maybe they do. Nope, they don't. Um, I'll just have to show you guys the pictures. Um, a bear barges into California 7-Eleven to enjoy a late night candy bar and a shopping spree. Uh, wow. So this is in Northern California, and a large bear shocked the employees. It says on September 6th. So this was a week ago, and let's see. It doesn't say where it's at. Olympic Valley, California. There we go. And so it went in, and it was initially surprised. It opened the door. It actually opened the door up. And so the bear was, they say, way bigger than life than they thought a bear would be. And the bear took several trips around the aisles and found a candy bar and ate it and grabbed a few more and proceeded to the um, he was grabbing 1 to 2 candy bars at a time and eating them, and then he found the chips. Um, so at least he didn't get the beer, but it even shows a picture of him with the chips in the mouth. So let me, I'm gonna pull it up so you guys can see this cute little bear. There he is, and I can't make the picture any bigger. Now, here's the one with him with the food in the mouth. He was having a sugar rush. Oh, he must have caught up with those gangsters in California, and they gave him some of that wacky weed, and he got the munchies or something. Um, and this is towards the end of the year, and usually they try to stock up on a lot of food. Well, that's all the pictures. Um, but normally they start eating a lot in between. Let's see, in California it'd be September. So by the end of November, December, when it starts getting cold out there, they hibernate. So yeah, he was filling up. And since they didn't do anything, more than likely, because he got his fill and then left. Um, so oh boy, I'm gonna make sure I thought he said he left. Um, he was 30 minutes of shopping, snacking, and he took a break from entering the store. And he said, and then uh, he blocked the door for a little bit, and then he went ahead and left. So the bear got his fill of food and he left. So he forgot to stock up for the winter. But he must have smelt something from 7-Eleven. They cook hot dogs and stuff. So he must have been smelling something. They got really powerful noses. And he decided, well, he didn't get a Slurpee. That's what 7-Elevens are. I don't know if you guys got 7-Elevens, but when I grew up, 7-Eleven was always known for their Slurpees. So he didn't get one. The clerk should have made him a Slurpee and left it for him. But no Slurpee for the bear. So what a cute story. I wish Karen should be in here for this one. So ginger can help with many medical conditions. Um, and they say it helps. Um, if you get like ginger ale, it'll calm your stomach down. But they say a little bit of ginger, spice. Put it on a little bit of something, your toast or your cereal, just a little bit because you don't want much. Um, they say it does help with stomach aches. I don't know if anybody knew that. Um, the strongest benefit was treating nausea for pregnant women. See, that's why I said I wish Karen was here this morning. So basically, ginger, they say if you get it fresh, you could even shave it yourself or um, chop or shave it and then ground it up into a powder a little bit better. But they say it's really good. It's even better than saltine crackers for pregnant women. So something I didn't know. I get stomach aches all the time. I'm not pregnant, um, but I didn't know. I didn't know that ginger could do that. So more ginger. No, you know what? I'm not. I could. What you could do with ginger is gingerbread cookies. I'm gonna make me gingerbread cookies for nausea. Um, Susan, we're that's what we're gonna do. We're gonna make gingerbread cookies. Yep. I never make gingerbread men because the little cutters, they never turn out right. They look like aliens, or that, or they don't stay together and their little arms and legs break off. I try to make them real nice for the kids for Christmas because I do cookies. I make cookies every year. In fact, if you're new and you guys haven't known about it, um, I make um, all my kids chocolate chip cookie, and the cookies are about that big. They're about a little bit bigger than a saucer, and I make one for every single one of them. Then I make special little cookie things to go with it, um, and a sleigh, a candy cane sleigh for the kids. And I'll have to show you guys. You guys will definitely see one of my big cookies. I make them every year. So a gator gets a toe. I know you guys were just dying to see this one of the gator that gets the toe. Um, and this was in Katy, Texas, and it was wandering around the neighborhood. He was 10 foot long, over 600 pounds, and they just could not. Um, the dog's having a fit. Um, they could not pick him up with the people they had. So here we go. Let me. There we go. Oh, he's a 400-pound gator. Oops, I'm sorry. He was 10 feet long, and he had to be loaded in a vehicle with the tow truck. So, um, the, you would think with all those big, strong, healthy men right there that uh, they would be able to pick that little sucker up and throw him in the back of the truck, but I guess not. Oh, they called it a sweetheart. Did you see that? And that was with USA Today. And that did, let's see, that happened. Let's find out when that, no, it doesn't say. It's got it dated for today, though. So it must have happened with USA Today, more than likely. Um, so yeah, the gator got a tow. I wonder who paid the tow charge, if it was animal control, the police, or the guy with the truck. So yeah, so the gator got a little tow there. Now, let's see, where is Claiborne? Um, Texas, Johnson City, Texas. I guess we're picking on Texas today. And this was in Claiborne. Uh, and people said to stay away from wild animals in their neighborhoods. And they said pretty much for the city, people watch out because they did find a skunk with rabies. And they said it's going to affect many streets around the area, according to the wildlife officer that came and got it. Um, and they're saying do not allow your pets to roam freely, especially your cats. Cats can get it. Do not allow your pets to come in contact with wildlife, which is, they say again, cats that you let outside or dogs unsupervised in your yards. Do not handle or approach or pick up any wildlife for any reason. If they say a squirrel or something is on the ground, that looks like it's laying there and it's in distress, even a bird, to leave it and don't handle it. They say if you're worried about it, you can call animal control or a police officer. They say they become aggressive, vicious, or they just lay on the ground. They slobber, they drool, they walk in a drunken manner. And the high risks for the animals are raccoons, bats, foxes, coyotes, and skunks. Low risk are opossums, squirrels, and other rodents, armadillos, and rabbits, but that does not mean they can't get infected. So there's a big warning out for um, Claiborne City or Johnson City, Texas. So, wow. Uh, so they found a gator and they found some drugs and the money, but the police officer said, and animal control said, "Where's the tiger?" Yeah. Authority in New Mexico found alligator with quantities of drugs, guns. The alligator had drugs. they left something out there. The guns, money, at two homes in Albuquerque last month. Okay, they're still searching for what they call a tiger that this gentleman had. An alligator and the drugs and the money were seized, and during the raid of the two homes, but then investigators said, "Where's the tiger?" And the people at the house, either house, wouldn't talk. So they believe that this tiger is either they sold it, they gave it to somebody, they put it into a refuge, but they're not sure. They said it could even be wandering the streets. Boy, I bet people in New Mexico aren't happy with that one. They say he's a young one. He's less than a year old and he weighs under 60 pounds. And but he can grow, but he could still, um, if scared, it can become very vicious. So this man was 26 years old and he was arrested. And they said this happened um, on the 12th. Yeah, so just a couple days ago, and they said he's refusing to say what happened to the tiger. Not only that, but uh, they had 2 pounds of heroin, 10 pounds of cocaine, 49 pounds of marijuana, 17 rifles, pistols. He had fentanyl, Xanax pills, and nearly $50,000. So, and then they kept asking him where this tiger was, and they said according to their what they've had turned in, this was a young tiger, and they didn't want to see no harm come to the tiger, and they would make sure that it was well taken care of, and he still wouldn't tell them. So they're asking anyone that lives um, around where this happened. Why doesn't it tell me where it's happened? Albuquerque, I'm sorry. So in Albuquerque, New Mexico, someone got a tiger from this guy. They're asking that please call animal control so they can get it to a spot that it can be taken care of. Now, I know people don't want to see these tigers in the zoos, but you don't want to keep them in your home because once they get big, you're going to have to put them out in a pen because they do start getting aggressive a little bit. Remember, I told you about my friend that had that Bengal tiger, and this is just a cub. So, I mean, it might be fun right now, but when it gets full grown, they get rambunctious and they do want to bite, they do want to scratch, and a bite or a scratch can cause serious harm. So I know everybody's going to send me an email going, oh, quit telling them to turn the tiger in, let them keep it. If you can, if, like my friend did, that, try it. But there, you have to come up with a whole bunch of chickens to feed it. He said he was feeding like 3 or 4 chickens, whole chickens, not live. These were like from the store, already bagged. He would give them 3 or 4 of those a day. So you're talking with the meat prices. I don't think you're going to get them to eat a vegetarian. So yeah, so they're going to need a lot of food, lots and lots of meat. So, all right. We're on to our list, and boy, they are long today. What we learned from the movies. I know we watch. I tell you guys to watch a lot of movies. So, what do we learn from the movies? They say a large loft apartments in York are plenty and affordable, even if tenants are unemployed. Um, Don't pet tigers or skunks or bears. Lions and tigers and bears, oh my, huh, Linda? Well, that friend of mine had that tiger. Uh, we could pet him. We could reach through the bars or the cage. Their squares were about like this. And there was one that was called Twilight. And she would let you pet her, you know. But I mean, when she started purring, I thought she was growling. So I was like, okay, it's time to get back, and got the kids back. So all right, so and then he had one that was called Patch, and it was a juvenile. Probably it wasn't 60. Well, he might have been 60 pounds. And I tell you what, he grabbed onto his leg and I mean, he grabbed onto that guy's leg that owned him, and he was putting holes in him. And he was like, ow, ow, ow. He says, well, it's getting close to time to putting him out. And then the time after that, I'd seen him, and it was like a year later, and he was a full grown cat. He big, huge. He was bigger than Twilight, the other Bengal tiger he had. So he had three of them. He had, let's see, Twilight, Patch, and I can't remember the other one's name, but he had three of them. And the neighbor got upset, so he had to rehome them. So, all right. So, all right. Learn from the movies. One of a pair of identical twins is always evil in the movies. Well, yeah, that's right. Or one of them don't. They kidnap one, and the other evil one like goes and does mean things to everybody. All right. Uh, should you decide to defuse a bomb, don't worry about which wire to cut. You will always choose the right one. That's right. In the movies, they get that tense music and they're going to cut it and they snip it and everybody's like, yeah, you always get the right one in the movies. It doesn't matter if you're greatly outnumbered in a fight involving martial arts. Your enemies will wait patiently to attack you one by one, dancing around and threatening in a manner that you'll have to dispatch the predecessors. All right. When you turn out the light and go to bed, everything in your room will still be clearly visible, but slightly blue. Yeah, that's true. It's never pitch black in the dark when they turn off the lights on movies. If you are blonde and pretty, it's possible to be a world famous expert on nuclear fusion, dinosaurs, um, uh, hieroglyphics, or anything else, especially at the age of 22. All right. Honest, hardworking policemen are usually gunned down a day or two before their retirement in the movies. Yeah, that's in the TV shows too. Always something happens to them the day of, and then they can't leave. A big shootout or crazy stuff, and they're like, "Oh, I can't retire. Yeah, I got to stay and help." Rather than wasting bullets, um, megalomaniacs prefer to kill their enemies using complex machinery that involves fuses, deadly gases, lasers, buzz saws, and hungry sharks, all which will give their captives at least 20 minutes to escape. That's right. And at least two bathroom commercials. Yep. All beds have special L shaped covers that reach up to the armpits of a woman, but only to the waist of a man lying beside her. Oh, I'd have to think on that, huh? What do you think, Linda? Do you notice that? I don't know. I've never paid attention to them all in bed. I don't know. I don't know. It'll hit somebody. Let me know in the comments, folks, over there on Facebook. Um, All grocery shopping bags contain at least one French bread and a bunch of carrots with leafy tops. All right. It's easy to land a plane providing there is someone in the control tower to talk you down. Yeah, there you go, like Airplane, that movie Airplane. The ventilation system of any building is the perfect hiding place. No one will ever think of looking for you in there. And if you travel to any other part of the building without difficulty, yeah, I'm going to have to look up in my crawl space to see what's up there. No, mine I think are tiny. But the buildings have bigger ones. Everybody uses a crawl space, and you notice everybody fits through the little holes that they have. Now, I never could understand that. So you're very likely to survive a battle in any war unless you make the mistake of showing someone a picture of your sweetheart back home. Should you wish to pass yourself as a German officer, it's not necessary to speak the language. A German accent will do. Uh, if staying in a haunted house, women must investigate any strange noises in their underwear, which is what they always happen to be wearing, uh, And they never wear nothing like that when the car breaks down. Well, I hope not. Who'd be driving in their underwear? Who drove? Okay, yeah, wearing when the car broke down. Who who goes to the store in their underwear? And uh, that was a weird one. All right, that's going to bug me forever now. If someone says I'll be right back, they won't. Even when driving down a perfectly straight road, it is necessary to turn the steering wheel from time to time. That's true. They all just sit there like this, but no one ever turns. And you ever notice that there's cars dodging all around them and stuff behind them, and yeah, or sometimes it's the same scenery for a long time. All right, a police detective can only solve the case if he has been suspended from duty. Police departments give officers personality tests to make sure each is assigned a partner who is their total opposite. When they are alone, all foreigners prefer to speak English to each other. Well, that's true. It's too hard to do all that, the words underneath. That's all it is. So, all right, the next one. Um, oh boy. Um, Definitions. Definitions. All right, advertisement. The most truthful part of the newspaper. Afternoon, the part of the day spent figuring out how we wasted the morning away. An afterthought, a tardy sense of prudence that prompts one to shut his mouth about the time he has to put his foot in it. Uh, Ambition, a poor excuse for not having sense enough to be lazy. Um, Ambulance, a shuttle between a speedy motorcycle and a wheelchair. Okay. Animals, creatures that do not grab more than what they have. Okay. Let's see. Apologize, to repeat an insult with variations. There you go. That's so true. Um, Arthritis is twinges in the hinges. You know, I like that. I ought to make a post on that one. All right. Showing respect with your mouth wide open. There you go. Is showing respect with your mouth wide open. Um, a baby, a perfect example of a minority rule. A backbiter is a mosquito. A barber, a brilliant conversationalist who cuts hair for a sideline. A bargain, something that's so reasonable they won't take it back when you find out there's something wrong with it or it's broken. A benefactor, one who returns part of his loot. Big game hunter, a person who can spot a leopard. Let's see, a bureaucrat. Oh boy, I better not read that one. Um, uh, it's not nice. Businessman, a man to whom age brings golf instead of wisdom. A chef, an interior decorator. How they get that? All right. A conference is considered to be a long coffee break. Um, a conscience, a still small voice that tells you when you are about to get caught. A cookbook, a volume that is full of stirring passages. A cow, a machine that is possible for people, uh, a machine that makes it possible for people to eat grass. A coward, one who is purless, emergency, and thinks with his legs. What? Oh, okay. Croquet is chest with sweat. All right. A diplomat, a rabbit in a silk hat. Yeah, okay. Donut factory manager, a person who has charge of the whole works. Endless, a time it takes for others to find out how wonderful you are. Etiquette, knowing which finger to put in your mouth when you whistle for the waiter. There you go. Flattery, an insult in gift wrapping. A friend, a person who listens attentively while you say nothing. I think I have a few friends that did tell me that one. Uh, um, Golf, cow pasture pool. Oh, I love that one. There you go. Golf is a cow pasture pool. Ah, there we go. Gruesome, a little taller than before. Guitar is a hillbilly harp. And the last one is gunpowder, a substance used to make nations friendly to one another. So there you have it. Boy, folks, I love the golf one. Yeah, that's exactly what it is. It definitely a cow pasture for pool. So, all right, folks, we got about 10 minutes before the news is on. And I thank you for watching today. And of course, subscribe and hit the bell. Now that we're over here on Investigator News Network, you might want to hit the bell if you're not getting notified. Also, share. And over in Facebook, welcome to all the new viewers and hit the follow and hit the like so you'll make sure to be notified when the shows do come on. So, uh, um, Linda and Susan, we had fun. Oh, I love the whole golf thing, the golf course. Yep, there was a few of them I liked, and of course the bear with the snacks. Yep, at 7-Eleven. 7-Eleven will never be the same. So, all right, we got news in 10 minutes, and there is no shows tonight, but tomorrow there will be corruption files for tomorrow night, and of course, the shows in the morning. So, with that, we will see you all uh, definitely tomorrow, or if you're just watching the show, or if not, come on back and watch the news. So, take care and God bless.